Well, governments seem to get a little angry with you when you start blowing up their installations. And so I knew I would end up in prison unless I was lucky. Eventually, my comrades in Cape Town said, leave, go overseas, get yourself trained. Everybody knows you must be involved because you do all the technical stuff around our movement. Go through Johannesburg, our high command. They asked me to stay to make the weapons for an organized uprising. 6 weeks later we were arrested. That led in a place called Rivonia, north of Johannesburg, led to the name of the trial, Rivonia trial, Nelson Mandela, #1 accused. And we end up with 4 life sentences, and we're very lucky that it wasn't 4 death sentences. You know you die 4 times over in prison. They have some magic way to kill you 4 times. Grew up in a home with people of all races and all social classes. During the rise of the Nazi government in Germany, there was a very large worldwide anti-fascist movement. And so the idea of resistance to the Nazis was part of my bread and butter. I wanted to be a civil engineer. I wanted to build for people. I wanted to build water through the desert and pipelines and bridges, and discovered that I could build for white South Africans, not for people. And so towards the end of my time at university, came to understand that first we had to change our country, then I could really be an engineer. Well, it just took too damn long, including 22 years in prison because I got involved in our armed struggle. Grew up in a home with people of all races and all social classes. During the rise of the Nazi government in Germany, there was a very large worldwide anti-fascist movement. And so the idea of resistance to the Nazis was part of my bread and butter. The injustice of it, the imprisonment, the denial of rights and dignity shaped my existence and my need to be a part of it. And if you don't speak out against it and act against it, then you're part of it. And if you're part of it, that goes against the grain and the conscience. Doesn't matter where in the world whites came from, they were called the white nation, whereas Africans were divided by language, by tribe, by area of the country. There were always some people who would question me, whites, of course, who would think I was a traitor, but some black, coloured and Indian people who would say, well, maybe we can trust him, maybe we can't. But we socialised as well. Our kids played on the beach together. We always found places where we could be together, consciously defying the apartheid social practices and laws, because we believe people should be able to meet. Technically, apartheid is dead. There are no apartheid laws. From a system in which virtually every aspect of life, where people could work, where they could live, could they get to school, were there creches, medical care, in the vital statistics of births and deaths, every aspect of life was controlled by apartheid laws and regulations. Today, the only mention of racism in our laws is that it is a criminal offence. Of course, it's very difficult to prove, and changing the laws doesn't mean you automatically change the mindset of people. So racism is not dead. Racism remains in the minds of people who fear change, who fear giving up absolute or relative privilege. And yet, at the same time, more and more people who hold their heads up. I am not inferior. I do and am capable.